Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending Innovation in the Film and Media Space webinar hosted by Wesgro. And Wesgro is the tourism trade investment promotion agency for the Western Cape and the city of Cape Town. I head up the film and media promotion unit. My colleagues Lisa Minnie and Nadia Jagwanth are on the call. And we have a great team at Wesgro doing more than you can imagine during this pandemic. We run a convention bureau, we have a strategic projects with air access, and we even have the Cape Tech Health Park team driving innovation. But today we are driving innovation in the film and media space. And the 11 webinars we've done this year under the pandemic have led us to realize what an amazing industry we have. And we wanted to just end the year as a unit with a bit of an exciting way to look to the future and the growth of our industry with 4 founders, CEOs of very talented companies. But I'll get to that. I have to do a bit of housekeeping. So what we'll do is we'll do these 4 presentations, 15 minutes each, and then we'll do the Q&A. But at any time, you are welcome to type into the Q&A chat box, and our colleagues and our presenters will answer online or live. They'll do a choice to answer live when we open to Q&A live as a panelist after the 4 presentations. So what is innovation? Innovation is surviving when something new, a problem has come up and you figured it out. Maybe taking that innovation and becoming the global leader. These 4 startups are all post-revenue, which means they're working through their efficiencies, they're starting to scale, and they really are very exciting companies. Some of them are very young, some of them have developed an innovation out of their standard operating, so they've been around, but now they're doing even more. And we can only wish them well and celebrate their success and their growth. And so the invitation you received will be, we'll follow that order. We'll go to the CEO of TalentScan first, then Dean Engla, the founder of Darkwing Aerials. Then Mandy Ritchie will go forward on her Workflow TV project, and Blanche Franken will speak to Filmspace. And I hope you agree that these are all very, very exciting times that we're living in, and that these solutions will not only drive creativity and growth in the Western Cape and in this country, but globally. And so while we're listening to each other, we will be chatting in the chat channel. That's fine, but remember, put your questions in the Q&A section so that we can see them more clearly. And if we cannot respond to you at this time, then there will be follow-up from the team that can answer more specifically. So very excited to hand over to Mario for his presentation. Mario, welcome.
Thank you. Okay, let's get this going. Morning, everybody. So the question is, how is your production currently processing cast, crew, and extras paperwork while maintaining COVID compliance? Well, our digital platform has the solution for you, amongst others. I'm Mario Jansen. I've been in the South African film industry for over the last 16 years, playing roles like cast coordinator, production coordinator. I've been ADing and various other roles I've been doing in the film industry. I'm the acting CEO of TalentScan, and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about what our digital platform can do. Now, TalentScan started in 2015. Because the job I was on, we realized there's a major problem with the manual process of what the admin work is all about for production, specifically in the casting department. That's where the idea was born. And we created TalentScan exactly to digitize that process from a centralized database, managing one set of information across various platforms, various outlets to various people that need certain types of information, instead of doing everything over and over and over and over. This has been done with cast, crew, extras, doesn't matter what agency were they with, if they have multiple agencies. And all of this was designed and guided to specifically start off helping the timesheet process for the talent chits and payroll. We've worked over more than 20 long format and local movies, TV series, also international commercials. And we've tested TalentScan not only in South Africa, but also overseas. And we're ready to scale internationally at any point. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what we offer. I mentioned chits. Now, in the past, the chit system in South Africa has been a lengthy paper process where we print chit books, chits go missing, extras have to fill out the chit forms, and all that data needs to be captured after the fact and then go over to the accounts department and recaptured, and then go over to the payroll department and recaptured. So what we've done is we've designed a platform for coordinators to use, cast coordinators and extras coordinators, where they can create their run lists of all the people that are supposed to be on the job on the day on a digital platform. All the data is there. We've been working very closely with almost all the talent agencies in the last 5 years to get the data onto our platform, boasting with more than 7,000 people on the platform right now, which means there's accurate data. Now, the agents have access to our system so they can update the data as need be. The talent themselves have access to our system so they can even update their data when it comes time to upload a new certified ID or anything like that, which means that the data is complete and accurate by the time it goes onto the run list. The cast coordinator can then utilize this run list, as you see now, to sign in and sign out the extras on the day. So they don't have to do the manual ticking of the papers anymore. They don't have to tear out paper chit forms and give it to the extras to keep with them all day that go missing and so forth. They simply scan the ID barcode. The people are signed in for the day, and tonight when it's wrap time, they simply scan them out again. Now, this also speeds up the process tremendously on your big days on long formats when you're dealing with 500 or 600 extras. We have done various challenges for ourselves, and we can say we're averaging about 4 to 6 talent per minute with our system, running the full process from chit to chit. At the end of the day, when all said is done, extras are gone. You've got everything archived on the system for easy access, not only by the coordinator, who obviously has to go through everything and make sure it's right, but once he has checked it all off, you are left with a digital chit. So this chit can then instantly be sent where it needs to go. It can go to the talent, the accounts department, it goes to production, all with a click of a button. So no need to duplicate any data. This takes out a big problem in the film industry, which we call human error. Because every time data has to be recaptured, there's a spelling mistake. That spelling mistake gets recaptured with another spelling mistake. And at the end of the day, Jan becomes Jane, which is a big problem in our industry. So this way, you've got one chit. It's also not triplicates, which means by the time it is approved by the coordinator, it's the same chit that goes through to the talent and the agent and the payroll. Not a chit that the talent takes home with him at the end of the day, and then the coordinator realizes there's a mistake and fixes it on the chit the next morning, and then accounts ends up with invoices that say something completely different to what the chits say that they have actually received. The nice thing about our digital chit system as well is that it comes with the ID document attached to the chit. So no more hunting for ID documents, no more payroll going after the fact, begging agents, can we get the information for your talent? Can we get the ID document for your talent? And we go as far as possible to ensure that the IDs on there are certified, and we try and check as much as we can that those certification hasn't dropped. Now I keep talking about IDs, but I should say as well, the system doesn't just work with IDs. It works with passports, it works with work visas, asylum papers, anything that the film industry deems as a legal form of identification in order for a person to work, our system can handle it. And you get that paperwork with a CHIT form once it is released. Now, like I mentioned, once the CHIT's approved and signed off, it can be instantly emailed to all the various places. You can pull various kinds of reports. You can do a CHIT search. Let's say, for instance, something went wrong, and in the process of going through to accounts and payroll, there's that one CHIT that's missing. You can quickly go into the system, type in the CHIT number, the person's name, and it pops up that CHIT for you. You can print out the run lists. And the very cool thing is, if you utilize our CHIT form platform as a standalone system, it also has an accounts kickout report that it does in the form of a spreadsheet, which you can then, as an accountant or as payroll, open up, copy the information, paste it into your spreadsheet, or paste it into your software that you're using for your payroll. And depending on which payroll system you use, it can also be directly imported as a CSV file. So it's the same information, just going in different places, so there's no confusion with what's being sent across. Then what we also do in this industry is we've got our digital payroll platform. Now, the fun thing about our payroll is, number one, it is designed by film industry accountants for the film industry. So it's not just another payroll package that you're buying online and you're making it work for what you need to do. The stuff that the normal payroll packages don't need for our industry, we don't have. And we're focusing purely on what is specific for the South African film industry. Well, for international film industry as a whole. Our system was designed by a company called FinEdge, who we're proudly to say now is part of TalentScan. They're powering the payroll side. And the kick-ass thing is if you take the payroll and you use it with the digital CHIT system, that information you gather for the talent coming through the works in the morning on a daily basis is already on the system. And once you open up the payroll side of things, the information is already there. No need to download and upload. No need to import and export. No need to manual capture any of that data over and over again. Which means the payroll system is a seamless integration from the talent being on set to agents being paid. Now, we can't claim this, but our goal is to speed things up in this regard, making things a little bit faster, because as you can think with this COVID pandemic that we're dealing with, extras working currently in the industry that still have to wait between 6 to 8 weeks for their payments, it touches all of us. We all, shall I say, almost desperate for making up lost time. We're desperate for making up lost funds. And we're hoping that by using this digital platform with full integration, things can be sped up a little bit. The nice thing as well is that the invoicing process now runs off a CHIT form that is generated by our system. That invoice that goes back to production is exactly the same information as the payroll information that's put up already. So literally all the payroll department and the accounts departments now have to do is verify that nothing has gone amiss in the process and that everything is in fact exactly the same, and boom, payments can be made. Now, imagine the impact this has on your post-production process, on the wrapping of a job, when that extras department sits hunting information, where they sit hunting IDs, going through all the paperwork, only to, at the end of the day, think the job is done and then find that there's actually one guy missing or one invoice not there. Now, with our system, that becomes a thing of the past. In the COVID times that we're busy with, needless to say, we developed an online COVID form, which we have used very successfully on many jobs, specifically for our background artists. You can imagine you've got a job, 50, 60, 100 people rocking up in the morning, and they all have to go through COVID screening. They have to get their temperature checked. They have to fill out the paperwork. Now you're adding a double sign-in process in the morning, which means not only does it take the coordinator, let's say, an hour to sign in everybody, it now takes the medic an hour as well. This is valuable production time. This is costing you money in the long run. Never mind the paperwork that now has to be stored that nobody's going to look at unless there's an issue. The pens that have to be sanitized all the time. So with our digital COVID form, what we do is we send out a link to whoever needs to work, be it crew, be it talent, be it cast. They can very easily fill out their paperwork online, on their tablet, on their PC, on their cell phone, and actually sign the document on the phone as well. This thing gets stored and archived on our system as a PDF document, which means that any time, if anybody needs to refer to Mario's COVID form, we quickly go into the system, click, download, and there's the form. The very cool thing is, because it's integrated into our coordinator platform where they're using their run list and everything, it instantly shows up on the run list as the talent sign in, whether the person has filled out his form or not. And if he hasn't, with a click of a button, step aside, please fill out your form and come back to me when you're done. Making that double sign-in process a single sign-in process again, once again, saving you time. And as we all know in our industry, time is very much equal to money. This means also you've got no papers to worry about blowing away. You've got no pens to sanitize and worry about. So there's a cost you can save as well in this COVID time that we're living in that can make the bottom line stretch a little bit further as well. Now, we talk about data on our system, and we're talking about sharing this data, and we all know about POPI and compliance and keeping everything safe. So what is great about our system is not only the fact that it's centralized data, which means you can actually shoot a season of a TV series. Come next season, season 2 has been approved. Yay, you've got complete different cast coordinator, different crew working on it. Doesn't matter. That crew gets their own login details. They sign their own NDAs with our system before they use it. They can then access season 1. Who was that coach that we need to use in episode 3 of season 2 for continuity? Rather than sifting through paperwork, rather than phoning a coordinator that might not be in the country anymore, the data is there to be utilized accordingly. This also helps for the daily shooting, so you don't bring on somebody who's with one agent. Big problem specifically with extras. They're featured. Tomorrow, they come back in a complete different role through a different agent. Because our system tracks everything, because they're aware of all the agents these talent have, we lock them to a job, and it makes those little issues for the coordinator a much easier process. But like I said, everybody gets their own logins. Everybody gets their own security. Our system stores all the data encrypted on our, we actually run our system off 2 servers, which is cloud hosted. So it can be accessed at any time, which means if anything's changed, the data is instant and it is available to all who have access. But the cool thing about running it on 2 servers and having a backup server just in case one goes down is it makes it very difficult for our system to be hacked or duplicated. Because if you're lucky enough to break through one set of encryption and land on the one server, there's 2 others to deal with before you actually get anything. We also have an offline version. So a lot of the jobs, we go out into the middle of Laingsburg, or we're in the middle of Namibia desert, or in some place where we don't have access to the cloud. Offline platform is great. It runs off a flash drive. The coordinator, production, whoever uses our system can just plug in the flash drive, run everything locally. And the moment they get to a place where there is a signal, it updates and syncs with the server, and boom, by the end of the day, all your data is exactly where it needs to be for the relevant departments to access it once again. Now, we're talking about a system that people don't know. Not to worry, we come with a full comprehensive trained team of cast coordinators, of ADs, of wranglers that have worked on our system over the last couple of years, been trained how to use our system, how to do the sign in, the sign out, how to do the creation of jobs for production, add the CHIT form information, all that kind of jazz. But also, as we know, a lot of productions actually have their own team that they like to work with, their own dedicated group that's always with them. And we can train those people as well. TalentScan is so user-friendly to use that we can literally sit with a person that's never heard about us before, and within half an hour to an hour, teach you everything you need to do from signing in the extras, creating the jobs, etc., etc. Also, we dedicate ourselves to have an excellent aftercare service, or actually we like to call it a in the moment service. So if anything goes wrong on a job, if you're struggling with anything, if you're clicking and it doesn't do what you need it to do, if you're downloading and it downloaded it incorrectly, you pop us a mail, you give us a phone call, and our technicians are instantly on the problem, getting it fixed before the end of the day, so that when you close your day, you know that all your data is complete and accurate 100%. Now, the big question, we're talking about saving time, saving money. I spoke about you don't have to data capture anymore manually, which saves you time. We spoke about how time is money in our industry. But Mario, brass tacks, what's the bottom line? Bottom line is we want to try and get our system to a place in the film industry where it allows every department to do more for less. Because that's what technology is. It's giving you the upper hand by costing you less. One of the ways we do this is simply looking at our CHIT form system. Is we can charge you as low as 1% of the talent's total day rate. Now, if you go work out what that amounts to per extra, depending on a local job or an international job, that's almost less than what it's going to cost you to print those thick triplicate CHIT books. And we're not even mentioning of the paper wastage when those CHITs go flying around everywhere and you have to recreate or cancel CHITs or whatever the case may be. So we're already giving you something more for less. If we look at the payroll side of things, we spoke about how, the manpower to get all that stuff done has now been decreased. Not necessarily making your accounts department smaller. It just means that they won't get backlogged as much as they're currently doing. It just means they will get to wrap things up as we used to in the past before life became as hectic as it is currently. So it means they can do more in less time, more accurately, without having to rush or without having to get extra hands on. Now, this is very great because a lot of people, specifically with extras payroll, they don't want to do extras payroll because the workload is so hectic compared to the actual amount of money that you're making off it. With our system, it takes the workload back to zero. It takes the manual input away. It makes people actually going, hey, with this process, everything already being there by the time we do the payroll, it means that, yes, we can do extras payroll for that. In fact, we'll only do extras payroll because it's going to be so easy, which puts our company in a unique place of being the guys that are willing to do that extra work because we know it's going to be so much less for everyone, less time and less money. We've got loads of other services for crew and cost, but that's what we're currently running in the industry. I thank you for your time. If you want to know more about what we do, please contact us and we will come give you a live demonstration on how the system works, give you consultation on what we can do for your future projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mario. And you've done so much these last 5 years and really, really, really well done. It's a huge project. And congratulations, every success. So as you mute yourself, we'll go over to Dean, who runs Darkwing Aerials, to speak about his company's innovation, which I believe just launched on the web yesterday, but has been going in a post-revenue way quite a bit longer. But very excited to see that online. Dean, over to you and your 15 minutes or a little bit longer.
Hi, everyone. Let me quickly set this up. Cool, there we go. So I'm the owner of, I'm Dean Engler, the owner of Darkwing Aerials. We're a fully licensed drone company operating out of Cape Town. We've been operating drones and camera equipment in the film industry for the past 8 years. And our new scenario is called 3D locations. And it was started to help streamline the way people run their set planning, because we noticed a need for pre-planning over the COVID period with clients not being able to come to SA to see their locations. So we used our combined film and industrial surveying experience to create this platform. We used multiple 3D modeling and VR software packages to offer virtual access to film locations so crews can collaborate online to make better decisions faster. So I'm going to take you through a couple of features on our online platform. I've only separated the tabs to streamline the loading process. So here, for instance, we've got an exterior 3D model of a house. I'll be using this house and property as our demo feature. So for instance, you're able to have a look at your property online and scroll around and see the lay of the land before getting onto set, as well as you're able to pinpoint where things should feature on the day and why. So each feature in this model, so the models correct to scale, and each feature in the model is scale correct. So for instance, here we've got the first aid station, we've got the wardrobe tent, we've got makeup tent. So these are scale accurate easy shades, as well as the fact that we can see that you can fit 2 trucks into this driveway with space to spare. The trucks are labeled, and then you've got crew parking, for instance, on this side. So immediately from a model like this, you can tell where your entrance and exit routes are, and you're able to take screen grabs of this and print it out onto a call sheet, for instance. So before getting to set, your crew knows exactly where they must park and why, for space reasons or whatnot. The nice thing about a 3D model is that you're able to actually drop down into your scenario to have a look at what might be in the way on the day. So you're able to drop down into the garden, for instance, and have a look and see, you know, if we drop down here, you can see if your first shot in the morning, sorry, this thing's gone a little bit haywire. Anyway, you'll be able to see if your first shot in the morning, if you're standing on the lawn here and you're shooting up towards the stable block, for instance, you know, your camera truck's going to be in the way. So in that sense, you know, for unit planning, you want to end up putting your trucks this side. So that's just one of the features, as well as the fact that you can, you know, plan set builds and all of that with your international crew and clients online without them being in the country. Another feature that we offer is, so this is the same house, we offer an interior scan of the house as well. And from this you can figure out, you know, floor plans, you can go in and out each room and actually see, you know, where you're going to place crew and where you're going to place extra gear and why. The nice thing about this is that you're basically seeing your whole set in a virtual world, and you're able to display it to your clients and your crew and have online discussions about it way before anyone is in the country. So if we drop down into this, from the model view into the VR view of the house, here it's as if you're standing inside. So the importance of this is that we don't actually need to guide anyone through this model. It's easy enough to use, and just to click through as a VR view, and your DP or director or whoever can just click through the house, for instance. And the nice thing about the fact that it comes from a 3D model is that you're able to get measurements as well of surfaces. So instead of doing a recce the one day and then someone forgets to take a measurement of something or forgets what color or texture something is, you can take accurate measurements to within a few millimeters. So that helps you with set builds and all of that. In this view as well, you can, if you're planning a shot to go from inside to outside of the location, we've done a 360 sphere outside as well, so you know what the exterior is going to look like, roughly. So you can plan your interior and exterior shots and your angles, as well as, you know, coming straight back inside. So those are a couple of the 3D modeling features. If we had to take the same location, we're able to calculate a sun path from the 3D model relative to the geographic data that surrounds the house as well. So we've taken mountains into consideration, as well as, you know, the way the sun is going to travel on that specific day of the year and on that time of day. And we animate the sun path in there. So you can do your recce in, say, July for your shoot in December, for instance, and get an accurate representation of what the sun's going to do, saving you time on, you know, setup times where people linger around in the dark, or you don't end up getting a shot in because the sun goes behind the mountain and then there's no sunlight left. If you look in the top right corner, this is the time of day, the day of the year and the time of the day. And I'll play you through the video to see how the shadows fall. So once we've calculated this, we can issue this to your production team to plan exactly what time, what your call time should be, what your first light, what your last light is, taking into account the mountains and the direction of the sun and its path on the day. So for instance, you can see in this video, this is July 2020, you're running out of light at 4:31 in the afternoon. As soon as you go over that, there we go, that's 5 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, you've lost all the light in the area. The nice thing about this is, it's just uploaded as a video. So the user can click through and just stall it where they need to figure things out. If you want to plan a shot in the front of the house here, it should generally happen later on in the day as the sun falls and the shadows move. This is an example of something we did for a client recently, which was for a city street. They needed to get VFX data from this to comp certain things into the buildings. This is just an example of one of the 3D models that we achieved for their set planning on the street. We did a whole bunch of their locations to streamline their operation on the day. So those are all the features of the platform. The idea is we'd like to get it to a place where anyone can come onto the platform and request a location to be scanned, either interior or exterior or VR or whatever deliverable they would like, and put a bounty on it. So say, a couple of R100, a couple of R1,000, depending on the detail. And then their page, and then anyone can go and upload to the page. We'll cloud process it, and the client will receive a password protected page on our platform, which hosts each one of their requested scenarios. And they're able to click in. The nice thing about this is that you don't need to have any software installed on your computer. You're able to share this online in production meetings and really streamline, from your camera department to your unit to anything, just to make sure that your set is 100% pre-planned weeks in advance before anyone rocks up. So yeah, that's my presentation. Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing stuff. It's so beautiful. I'm a very visually oriented person, and I just love all those names as well. The dollhouse. I mean, that's such a special name for that part of your website and your technical innovation. And I love that you showed the winter sun, and that presentation would be much longer in our summer because the days are so much longer. And so, yeah, but it's critical in winter when you're doing a commercial or something that you only have that little bit of sun in the planning. But now we have long, long days. And so Dean, congratulations to you and your team. I know you're on a lot of big jobs already, that you're very, very busy, but there are other innovations that you'll talk about later that it's also being used in architecture, in planning for COVID, paths through offices, etc. So that you're actually branching out beyond film, but film is keeping you so busy that you haven't really marketed it that much yet to planners, city planners, etc. But it's very innovative and comprehensive, and I'm sure people watching this will see how much more it goes.
Great. Set up in one industry, and when it's rolling out well, we'll tackle the rest.
Right. But let's move on. We'll do the 4 presentations. Thanks, Dean. And we're over to our lady CEO, Mandy Ritchie, who's a very innovative workflow TV presentation. To start now, please.
Hi, everyone. So thanks for joining today, and thank you for Monica for arranging this. I think what's great is also to see what everyone else is doing, and it just seems like we can all actually work in a symbiotic way together, which is amazing. I think all of these, what we've seen so far, complements each other. So a bit about me. I've spent many years in the film industry. Started firstly in long form doing TV series and feature films, and then service production opened up sort of 94. When interest in the international interest in South Africa started growing. And from there, I have spent most of the years since then working mainly in short form. So TV commercials, music videos, did some dockies, some still shoots. And as time has progressed and passed, I always felt an increasing frustration with how inefficient the industry was for production teams specifically. Everything just felt very labor intensive, nothing's integrated, nothing talks to each other. It's very manual. As Mario said, timesheets are signed on set with a pen and a piece of paper, and then that gets lost, or crew don't sign. And so it just, for location people, for location managers and unit managers, maps were being hand drawn, and then you have to print that, and production booklets are being printed. And it just, if call time would change late at night, suddenly you have to phone 50 people. And, it's the film industry. So everything is a little bit up in the air, a little bit of a movable feast. But then the ability to communicate with everyone effectively at the same time, it's just, it doesn't exist. So then obviously there was a change with, film became digital. And so technically, and in terms of post-production, and certainly now with remote filming and remote linking because of COVID, I mean, technologically, the industry is really advanced, and production is still sitting way behind, sort of communicating via Dropbox and a little bit by WhatsApp. So workflow came about through a frustration with all of those things. And I then set about trying to work out how to improve communication, improve efficiency, take it sort of more online and digital. So so workflow, so we developed workflow, which is actually, it's 2 platforms essentially. There's a web application where your production teams sit and work, and they add all your data. You add the crew, and there's a crew members directory, and there's a whole lot of information you add, which then speaks to a mobile app. So I'm going to just start by showing you, sharing my screen. So for purposes of privacy, etc., none of the information on here is correct. I have added Dean at Darkwing Aerials, who you've just met because we spoke about it. So he was fine for me to share his information. So essentially, I'm at Brickwall Media. So once you've registered and logged in, you hello and welcome, and then you have various areas of working. So this is the company dashboard where you would add all your clients. I've only added 1 company on, but this is how you can track your companies, track their information. It's where you add all their details and email addresses and contact numbers. And then there is a user section, and this is where you add all your production company users. So for example, I've obviously added myself. So you add, it's where you set your team's permissions. So there's different permission levels. So executive team can obviously do everything. Because of the nature of the film industry and it all being very freelance, there's different permission levels. So your production teams might do one job at one company, then move and do a job at another company. So you can set different levels, and you can also only give them access to only one job if that's what you prefer to do. There is a section for billing, which is really where you would track your company's expenses relating to workflow. It's not a budget thing. We do hope to get there at some point in the future, but you can track the cost of using workflow versus the cost of what you save on time, printing costs. Obviously, this is all paperless, paper-free. It's very environmentally friendly. And then the other section in your company dashboard is your company profile, which is where you just add your information and you add your company logo, which is what goes through to the mobile app. So that's the company dashboard section. Then you have these 4 main sections. So there are 3 different main directories here. There's the locations directory, a suppliers directory, and a people directory, and then your job section. So locations, this company has a little database of 3 locations. So this is where you go and you add all your locations. I have already added these, obviously. I'll just go in and show you. So to add a location, you just add in all your information. It links to Google Maps, which is how you then send your information to crew and cast so they know where your location is. So it's a very simple location category. There's no, you can't upload any images at the moment, but this is purely data and it now sits here forever or until you delete it. So it's a way of archiving all your information. So next time you're shooting at Newland Swimming Pool or Workshop 17, your information is already here. You don't have to keep re-adding and re-adding information. The suppliers is literally an online film industry directory. So scrolling down the left, you have all your different categories, which are all fairly standard categories. Crew, cast, food stylists, freighting. It's very, it's a whole directory. I will show you, for example, if you go to aerials and drones, it will list all the companies. We go to Darkwing Aerials. Here we have the information. It links to email addresses and the website. And then under people, you list all your different contacts. So here are all the people in Dean's company. And this is where the information sits. So from here, it's a directory if you just need to quickly find contact numbers and email addresses. It's also how you add people and companies to jobs. So that is the suppliers directory. And then the people directory, all the contacts of your suppliers live here. There is a massive crew members directory sitting here. And you can search by name, you can search by agent, crew agent, you can search by job title. So if you want to find some art directors or some chaperones or some ADs, then that's where you can go and search. I will just show you the cast members database. So I've added somebody here, and this is where you then add all your cast. And it gives you the agent's details. It gives you, again, these are all just tests. This is test data, it doesn't mean anything. So this is where your people sit, your suppliers, your locations, and then you get to your jobs. So I'm just going to quickly run you through a job. So again, test job doesn't mean anything. So this is where you add all basic information on your job. It's an overview. You have important contacts, which is where you add your client, you add your agency. If you're doing a service job, it's your international production company. You add yourself, you add department contacts. So this is all your, over here is where you add all your job information, and all of these contacts are all pulled through from your suppliers directory. So you add your catering, you can add your casting director, you can add your medics. Look at that, you can add your aerial company again. So I showed you where Darkwing Aerials sits in the suppliers database. So again, you just pull them through into your job. Creative is where you upload any pre-existing documentation. So any storyboards, shot lists, any images from any other cast images or shooting schedules, director's treatments, etc. This is where you upload all that information. Then you have your cast. So you have to pull your cast into your job here. So again, I've just used Jennifer. She's the existing person in the database. So you have shoot day 1, shoot day 2. So she's now in the job. And this is where you add your crew. Again, all test data. You have your production department, your art department, your wardrobe department. And this is where you now add your crew to your job. So Dean has now been added to this job. You add your equipment under equipment. All the suppliers are all preloaded. And then this is where you add your information for your job, anything to do with gear checks, anything to do with your vehicle, loaders, boxes, locations. Again, you now in your job. So any locations that you need for your job, you'll pull through from this directory, this locations database. And then you add any notes specifically that you want to share with your crew. Transport, add all your vehicles, department, vehicle, driver, any dates if it's a pre-delivery. Miscellaneous. Okay, so this is where you add any, you know, maybe your agency and your client are from Johannesburg and you're shooting in Cape Town, or the other way around, or it's an international service job. So this is where you go and you add all accommodation details. This is where you add all your flight details, and then any general information you want to add here. Have a good shoot, whatever you want to add. This is just a general note. And then production notes, normally any rules, regulations, any CPA crew rules. So that all gets added there. And this is when, so now you're going to manage your job. So this is where you add production schedules. I literally just created a gear check schedule really quickly. So you have your schedules, any notes, any people you're going to add, any equipment, and then this particular activity, which is a gear check. So you can then break down into specific items. So your camera gear check, your DIT gear check, your VTO gear check. Daily call sheets. You all know what a call sheet is, and then it gets issued to all your cast and your crew. I'll just show you quickly what it looks like. So it's a very basic setup. Any movement orders, if you've got 2 or 3 locations in a day, you have to add to Creative. This is literally capturing the basic data for the day. So your weather information, any important contact information, your locations, and then you add your crew, your call time. These guys just go straight to location at 6 o'clock. Dean's going to a different location. He's going to go and film Newland's swimming pool with his drone. And he needs to be at the production office at 8 to be on set at 8:30 at the diving pool, your cast, and then your catering numbers. Then your production booklet, which I won't go into in too much detail because you all know what that is. But all the information that you've added here in your job information is you then, it's automatically pulled through into your production booklet over here. What I can do is show you a preview on this particular job. So you add your company logo, any information, any, you know, your cover sheet, any shoot dates you want to share. You can add confidentiality clauses, no posting on social media, any contact numbers, etc. And then you scroll through your production booklet, which is essentially all information you have just added in your job information section here on the left. So you have your agency, your production company, your department contacts, catering, casting director, medic, etc. So, and this is your production booklet. Again, notifications. This, I love this feature. So this is where you go to add people to the mobile app. So you onboard them here, and it's also where you send your notifications, which then, like WhatsApp or any other app you have on your phone, will send push notifications through to your crew and your cast. And the very bottom thing is time logs. So I won't go into this in too much detail, but essentially all the cast and the crew that you add into the daily call sheet are automatically added to the timesheets on a job. So you can then select a day and whether they're crew or they are cast. There's our Jennifer again. So once crew are on the mobile app, they will log in their times directly on the mobile app, which then sends the information back to your production team who are working here. They check that the times are correct. Maybe there's a note, whatever you want, and maybe you want to send a note to the agent, cast agent, crew agent, who will automatically give you how many hours they worked that day. Production then approves the times and updates it, and then you can download your timesheets and email them to your agents. So that in a nutshell is that. I'm going to just very quickly stop sharing my web app. So now that all the information is now on the web and your job is sitting there on the web, you then need to share your screen. Hold on 1 minute, I'm getting there. I need to just do some screen mirroring with my app. I just need a code to log in. So Monica, if I'm talking too fast or anything, please just let me know. It's quite interesting being the only one you can hear. How am I doing time-wise, Monica? Is it all good?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to share another screen with you quickly. So now, okay, I'm hoping you can all see my phone there. So there's my phone, ignore all of that. And basically you then click on...
Wait, hit screen share again, please.
Ah, sorry. I'm looking at a different screen. My apologies, everyone.
I can see it now.
Okay, cool. That's interesting. It has gone for me. Anyhow, I have my phone. There, is that working? Is that all good?
We just see your logo. We don't see the actual phone, which
okay,
you showed us earlier.
Stopped sharing. Give me 1 sec. I don't know what happened there. There we go. Am I back?
You are back.
Okay, cool. Alrighty there. So now that is my phone, and that is the app on the mobile phone. And this is the job. This screensaver's job is the one I've just been showing you. So once you've been onboarded and you're in the app and you've been added to a job, you click on view. And here now is all the information that I have just shown you. So it's the job. You can download the production booklet. You can look at your production schedules, any contact information, call sheet, location, crew member, cast member, creative, and miscellaneous. And I'll take you through all of those briefly. So you can download your production booklet, which is what I showed you. And here you can email it, forward it, and just have all the information all in your phone. Saves printing, saves time, saves loss of information. Okay, then you have your different schedules. Basically how this works is the production schedules here is the production schedules on the job, is all the production schedules. Whereas when you get added to a job and get tagged in a schedule, all you need to do is click on my schedules, and the schedules that you'll see are only the schedules that relate to you. So I'll just show you quickly the production schedules. I showed you DIGI-CHIT on the web app. So here you can now scroll through that DIGI-CHIT schedule for the day. And once the date and time have passed, this all fades out to gray. You've got some general notes. You've got your camera equipment and all the notes right there. So, you know, this applies to if you're doing wardrobe calls or tech recce's or director's recce's or any cast callbacks. So everything is on the phone there for you. Your contact information. Okay, so you've got the department information, and you can obviously call from your phone. And where there's an email address, you can either call or email from your phone. There's all the notes. There's Dean, we added him. I could, if I want, Dean, phone you from my phone, but I won't. So that's sorry, I meant to show you something else actually. So in contact information, if you click on important, you get your client and your agency, etc., etc. So a quick, easy reference of how to contact all the people on your job. Then there's the daily call sheet, which I showed you. So here everyone can go and look at the daily call sheet on their phone, any important information. So locations. We know Dean is going to the swimming pool. So there's information, get directions. You can choose which app you want to use. And it then takes you from, well, your location to wherever you need to be. And of course now it doesn't want to do it, but it works. I guess maybe I'm sitting right here. Let me just try that again. Do you know Google's been having some problems? Okay, so crew, so wherever your phone holder is, wherever you are, will then give you all the directions you need to go all the way to the location. Google Maps, whatever you need. So no need to go and be printing maps or putting up location signs or dashing across the N2 at 4 in the morning for your unit managers. So it's just a safer, more user-friendly, better way of working, is how I feel. And then your crew, this is where your call times are. So we've got everyone else. We've got Dean leaving the production office at 8, going to the diving pool at 8:30. Your cast call times, and then any catering information. Okay, I won't take you into locations again. That's pretty self-explanatory. Your crew members. So essentially, this is a mirror of everything that's been loaded to the web app, to the job. So it's just it's a mirror of your job, and all information is in your phone or tablet or iPad. So there's your production crew. You want to phone your producer or email him or her. Again, there's Dean, wardrobe, art department. And what you can do if you want a quick search, if you just want to look at different categories, you can just go to aerials and drones. So if you don't want to have to scroll through your entire crew, you can just click by department. Cast members is basically the same thing. So there's your cast information. Creative, I have uploaded it's not a real script obviously, but you can then from your creative section in the mobile app, you can either download it to your phone or you can share via email or share via WhatsApp. And then miscellaneous is everything I spoke about earlier. So your flight detail, your accommodation detail. And then the one thing that I do need to show you most is, okay, so now you've had your job, you've a crew member or a cast member, although I think Mario's got the cast fairly sorted out. I think that's an amazing system actually, Mario. Anyhow, okay, so Friday the 18th, that's the day that we did add the shoot. So now crew go in and from here they add their call times and wrap times, and I won't do it now, but whatever times they do add here, whatever times they submit here, then gets sent back through to the web application that I showed you. There is also a, where am I? There's all your notifications that come through. So if call times changed or reminder to bring a mask and sanitizer, and sorry to use that as an example, seems to be all we talk about these days. And then on the other side here is a profile section. So if crew or cast or whoever the app user is changes a phone number or changes any information, they can go in from their end, change the information that then talks back to the web app so that everyone then has the updated information. And from here, they can add in ID numbers, tax numbers, any other information that is important that production companies know about that person. And that, in a nutshell, is, let me just get back to you all. That in a nutshell is, sorry, I have lost you. There we go, stop share. There we go, I'm back. Okay, so that in a nutshell is the web app, which is where you load your job information, talks to the mobile app, which is where everyone receives the information. And I think the sense is, we've done a soft launch. We are in the market already. There's a couple of companies using it and on it. Tech it's a very interesting challenge. I'm actually a production person and a producer, so I understand logistics and systems, but working with tech, you almost have to think it's a different world and literally a different language. So we're still trying to balance out production and film industry requirements with the tech, because the two are very often quite directly sort of at war with each other. But ultimately the product is, I think it's user-friendly. There's a good user experience. I'm sure that others can also agree with me. It's work in progress. It's never, this is the product and we're done. It's a constant iterative process. You know, the way we've discovered that people are using it, it's like often we'd be like, oh, we never even thought of that. So then we have to change things or readdress things, or somebody couldn't download the app because it's weird. I mean, human nature is just, people don't read. So ultimately we just feel that this system is a quick, almost a shortcut way of communicating with crew and cast and saying, here's your call sheet, here's your daily, be at this place at 6 o'clock. Often nobody wants the big 50-page document, or they don't want to sign the timesheets. So it's a work in progress, but we are quite proud of it, I have to say. And thank you for listening. And thank you, Monica.
Thank you so much. Very innovative. And I think that the disruption of the fourth industrial revolution is all about fast innovation and getting to market early. And our last presenter, along with the three that have already presented so wonderfully, is all about getting first to market. Blanche, over to you. Sorry, you're on mute, Blanche.
I just wanted to share the screen first. Cool. Hi, everyone. I am Blanche Franken. I'm one of the co-founders of Filmspace. We are a bespoke marketplace platform that seamlessly connects filmmakers with property owners. I myself have been working in the industry for the last 5 years alongside my veteran partners who's been working in the industry for the past 15 years. And together we created Filmspace with a real mission to create an accessible, inclusive and streamlined location scouting industry that truly promotes creativity and economic opportunity for both filmmakers and property owners alike. So today I'm sharing with you something we've been working on over the last 2 years and really taking a look. I'll be taking you through the filmmaker side of the platform where we've made some adjustments onto how we've made it easier than ever to book a film-friendly location from anywhere at truly any time. So when we built the platform out, we identified 4 key parts within the location scouting process that we wanted to make considerable adjustments and through advancements to create a product that benefits all. So we'll be going through the 3 steps of finding your perfect location, and then in the last step, we'll see how you can manage manage your bookings, whether it be residential property, commercial property, mobile spaces such as cars, trains, yachts, etc., and studio space. So in the first step, what we've identified is truly as a user, it is your searching experience. We've tasked ourselves to really replace hours of driving around, long phone calls, long email threads, or spending time on Google with a real easy to use filtering and search process and system. And what we found was, if I can enter our search page here, what we found was in order to make it easier for a filmmaker, we really had to make it easy for hosts to showcase their property. And if you are a host out there and want to get started with listing, you can create a profile, verify your email, get back to your dashboard and list your space in a few easy steps. We'll review your property as we believe a curated community is truly the best way to build trust. But as a filmmaker, here on the search page, as you can see on the right-hand side, we've had a great response from our hosting community, racking up over 400 unique spaces in the last few months. On the search experience, you can filter via types of spaces, whether residential, commercial, studio spaces, or mobile spaces, as I mentioned, which is cars, motorbikes, boats, trucks, or vans. If we select residential here, you'll be able to filter via features of the space. You'll be able to go via style or limit the price range per hour. If we like a space here, we'll go into the listings profile page. One thing we truly value in when we built the platform was transparency between hosts and filmmakers. I think it is one of the keys to build trust between users is to have real transparency, and it really helps you make the right call every single time before you have to go the extra mile. So when entering a listing, here we have Pineapple House in Sea Point. You'll be able to view full range of images of the space. If you are sending out a brief to clients, you'll be able to do a file pool with all the images of the space that you can send to clients. You can share spaces directly from the Filmspace platform via email, WhatsApp, or social platforms. You're able to save a listing for later on, and you'll just find that in your favorites panel. You'll always be able to make, if I can go back here, you'll always be able to make notes on spaces if you want to save anything just for reference later on. In the listing page, as I said, you'll be able to get a full lowdown on a Filmspace listing, full descriptions, features of the space, details of the space, parking instructions, crew access, amenities, and location rules set out by the hosts themselves. think one of the great features we did add is full pricing and upfront costing. And we book per hour on Filmspace. We believe you can book the space for the amount you need. Then moving over from this page, you'll always be able to contact a host. I think what we found in our year of research and talking to the industry, we found that people kind of wanted us to, what if I want to know more? Or how do I know that the photos are up to date? Or what if I don't like the hourly rate? How do I request a custom rate? So for this, we built out a full messaging feature within the Filmspace platform, where you can communicate with not only hosts, but educated hosts. We've really taken the responsibility to educate our hosts regarding what to expect from filmmakers and what to expect on set as well. So I'll head over here to our messaging. In your dashboard, you'll find messaging inbox. Here's a messaging thread I've just created on my side, where you can reach out to hosts, ask any questions you need. Here I've requested a custom rate from Andrea. She sent me a custom rate of 200 Rand per hour, and it all reflects in my messaging dashboard. From here, we have 2 easy ways to finalize our booking and to actually book our space. We have both will take us less than a minute. On the right-hand side, you'll have the dates, times, cast and crew, and the shoot type. From here, you can go ahead. You also see a fee breakdown structure. As I mentioned, transparency is key. We take a 5% service fee on each transaction, and keep your eyes out for our socials, as we'll be running some great promotions from the start of 2021. And we're updating some great features. So from here, you'll be able to accept the custom fee and request the booking. We'll take you straight to our booking form, answer 5 easy questions, confirm the payment option, and your booking request will be sent through to the host, who will have 3 days to accept or decline the booking. If you took the alternative route, going straight from the listing detail page, you'll just enter the required information, hit request booking, and you'll be back at the booking form. So that's how we've really streamlined a simple to use flow of how you can search, connect, and book a film-friendly location. From here on, we'll go to a booking that has been made and the host has accepted your booking. It'll be here on your dashboard under bookings. You'll be able to see upcoming bookings, booking requests that you've sent out, past bookings, or in any bookings that have been cancelled. Clicking on a booking, you'll see a full overview of the booking, dates, hours, details on the project that you've submitted for the host. As I mentioned, all this information is ready for host as to be transparent as possible to see if you are really compatible. You'll see a breakdown of the fee structure once again. From here, you can view your receipts, you can view your VAT invoices, all ready to download. You can cancel the booking. You'll see the physical address of the location, description, and once again, the rules set out by the host. From here, you'll be able to go directly, contact the host again, do a file pull. And one of the great features we've added is each and every listing or booking that is made through the platform has a fully comprehensive automated location agreement that we've been working with top film legal experts to really create a comprehensive agreement between hosts and filmmakers to really establish trust from the get-go. You'll see all information is pulled through as a host accepts a booking. So that's the managing process as well. I mean, it's a great place for us to, booking a space is great, but bringing it all to one place is always better, which also leads me to a last point of which I just discussed earlier, which is we've really took the responsibility of educating our hosts to be truly film-friendly hosts, and we've been distributing several resources to upskill our hosts and really educate them on what they can expect on set, and so that you can talk to people who know how you talk. And being a startup that launched in the middle of the lockdown period, we've been responsive in educating our hosts with regards to hosting a shoot in a lockdown-friendly manner. And we've also distributed resources for filmmakers on how you can really set safe filming environments for yourself and on set. So that's the Filmspace platform in a nutshell. I think it's easy to use and truly streamlined. We've tried to make it as easy as possible. One big point for us in the Filmspace camp is true accessibility. For any person to access these spaces, book per hour, full listing transparency, which has been we feel a true innovation in the location space. And to just close off kind of what I want to say today, I just want to add a note on innovation at itself. For the webinar, I was truly thrilled when Monica and them contacted us about this, as I feel the industry is truly ready. I'll stop sharing, you can see me as well. I think the industry is truly ready for innovation and is truly open for this. I think if there's one thing we learned over the last year is that we don't just fear change, we fear sudden change. And it's made it increasingly more important for us to be agile moving into the new year. And I believe that, as we heard today, we have many technological solutions within the industry, and a lot of our panel members have made some real advancements in their own respective fields. But I think in order for us as an industry to truly innovate, we need to create an innovation enabling environment where technology is a true foundation, but it is also only one part of innovation. I think we salute Wesgro alongside many initiatives within the industry for the help that they provide in assisting the industry to move forward to greater heights, and as well as creating a industry that truly benefits all. But I think that areas where we need to innovate as an industry along with technology is spaces and combinations of infrastructure within the industry, innovation within technology. As we heard today, innovation in education as we bridge the gap between newcomers and industry professionals. And then the last point of innovation within policy and regulatory intervention. So I think that is to create a true innovation enabling environment, we need to really focus on all four of those aspects. And that is all from my side. I think at Filmspace, we believe you always have the power to imagine, to connect, and to create. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out either via our platform or on any of our socials. Thanks, Monica.
Brilliant, Blanche. And I think all of you were so brilliant. And Blanche, having you at the end to wrap it all up with that academic branding point of view. And that's a call to government as well to create that enabling environment. And we are in the Cape, Silicon Cape has been discovered as the leading innovation hub in Africa in using the Endeavour report. And I think the city and the region have really, really driven that home. And your four companies are part of that boiling, melting pot. And how you've managed to do this is partially possibly because of all the innovative coders, and that back end stuff that Mandy mentioned was a real wake-up call, because it's different when you're trying to solve a problem in real life, but you have to put it into code. So our first question coming from our attendees, thanks for your patience, everyone. I hope more coming through. Megantri Pile says it's very exciting innovations in the film space. How long was the development of each of your platforms? So once you had the idea, how long did it take to get to launch beta? What kind of funding support were you able to receive, public, private? So some of that was answered, but I think what we all want is some kind of inspirational, perhaps story just in a kind of bon mot, and we'll start with a round robin. We'll go from our first speaker, Mario, Dean, Mandy, and end again on Blanche. So over to you, Mario. Tell us your story.
Okay, cool. Well, very interesting. Once we had the idea first, it basically took us about 3 months to do a proof of concept, which we're very excited because obviously getting the proof of concept out, we thought, yay, here we go. We're instant success into the industry. Since that proof of concept, it took us about 1 year and 8 months before we landed our first job, spending time on research and development, getting the right coding team behind it, and the big one, obviously, trying to get funding. Funding is always a difficult one. We are currently still bootstrapping, still taking every cent I make, pushing it back into the company, developers working for favors half the time. But I think when it comes to getting it done or finishing development, like Mandy said earlier, I don't think we'll ever be done researching and developing. There will always be another thing the industry will require, or another way they will require for it to be done, which we will then, fall into suit and start developing and start researching. And the great thing about the other platforms is collaboration is becoming a big thing as well, specifically in our industry. And there are even more development opportunities lie at hand. So yeah, it's been a 5-year process. Yes, we are on jobs. Yes, we have done a couple, but we're still learning, we're still researching, we're still developing, we're still upgrading our platforms, our apps, online and mobile. Yeah, and we've got great ideas for the future. And I'm pretty sure once we start really hitting the ground running and start making some decent funding, you'll see more and more about what we have planned coming out into reality.
Dean, that's your cue. Thanks, Mario.
Hi there. Yeah, so this idea came about, I think, less than 5 months ago. Possibly 5 months ago. And I think what we've been doing is kind of playing it by ear and testing out our theories in the film industry itself and in other industries. And I think what we've been trying to do is basically set up as we go. Because what we thought we had in this golden egg scenario, when we thought the idea up, was actually nothing close to what people actually need and want. So, we are very young, we went live with basically only a splash page yesterday and the ability to generate client pages on that. We've been hosting our current jobs for clients on our Darkwing Aerials website. So basically just taking it as it comes and bootstrapping as we go. We're just doing what we can. We are doing work at the moment. We've got multiple clients that have stemmed over from my client base at Darkwing Aerials and a couple of more. So I think we'll probably be in the where everyone else is in a little bit of time, but we'll figure out as we go. Thank you.
Thanks, Dean. What a great story. You're the baby here. Next is Mandy.
Yeah. So I find myself sitting here nodding my head and smiling because it's like, these stories are just, it's like we're all living the same story. And so initially all the idea the architecture of the system and how it was going to work and what it was going to be, we started at the end of 2017. I did some research, thought I'd done all my due diligence, went and met some development companies, picked one, and that it was going to take 6 months. So you must understand by 6 months, we thought, okay, cool, end of 2018, we'll be done. We'll be ready. This is going to be fantastic. It's the end of 2020, you may know. And it's a little bit, I think, like renovating or building a house. You get given a timeline and just literally triple it. And I think it's not just because it's a simple tech, and coding isn't a simple thing. And there's different languages and different requirements and where do you need to be and how do you need to be there and who's working on it. So the first system didn't work very well. But I'll leave it at that. It didn't work very well. And we launched in we didn't launch. We went and tested in the market in about March last year. And there were just endless problems. There were endless struggles. So we literally then went back to the drawing board and had to redo a whole lot of stuff. And that took us to end of last year, tested again. We've spent winter, redid some more testing. I think because of the nature of the industry versus the nature of code, we kept on hitting walls, and then we'd have to take a step back and rethink it. So yeah, it's taken literally 3 years from concept to a product that we've launched in the market that's live, that companies are using. So 6 months has become 3 years, and bootstrapping as well. So kind of as we go, we fix, we sort, so it's not an easy thing. And I think that also adds to the length of time, because you can only do what you can do when you can do it, if that makes sense. And learning and adding different features, and suddenly you see, different people using it differently, and kind of, so even as we were trying to build the initial thing, I mean, everyone talks about an MVP, which is your minimum viable product. So go to market with an MVP, don't add stuff you don't really know what the market wants. They might not use features you think are brilliant. They might want features you haven't even thought of. So the constant thing was always MVP, MVP. And by the time we finished with all the changes, we suddenly had more than that. So, I mean, McGann3, if I give you, make any tips or suggestions, is just start really small with a very basic idea and a product. Work out what the problem is, what your tech is, what problem is it going to solve? Is there really, will it really solve something? And then go with that. And then once you get user feedback and you see how people are using the system and what works and what doesn't, then you can fix and adapt and improve. But it's a slow process. There's nothing quick about this. Once I started, there's just a million stories I hear all the time, and people in tears, and people whose product didn't work, and people who've pulled the plug, because it isn't an easy environment. And I'm not trying to put anyone off. I think just do a lot of research and a lot of due diligence as to the people you're working with, and really what the skill set is and what you need. It's not an overnight thing. So thank you for that question.
Great question. And coming over to Blanche, who I think is the youngest entrepreneur in the room, but his product is just slightly older as a product than Dean. But you launched recently as well, so that's kind of nice. But tell us your full story as per McGann3's question, please.
To start from us as a Filmspace perspective, we started building in 2018 as well. Just over about 2 years ago, we initially got the concept and partnered with my partners, who they provided the funding for the platform. And then we spent about 6 months on just validating the idea and building out the concept. We had a process where we started with the end in mind and worked back to see, I think every platform has one core functionality, so we started with the end result and planned backwards to kind of see what is the core functionality that the Filmspace platform would need to do. And from there, we kind of designed our platform out, and then we went through quite a few developers, so which kind of was a few hurdles we needed to overcome, especially in the beginning. So when we moved ahead from there, and then we built for about a year, which was up until March or roughly then. And then we were ready to launch one side of the platform to start onboarding hosts. And then I think the Sunday the lockdown was announced, we were going to launch the Monday. And so, which didn't happen. So we kind of, we said, let's get back internally, let's work more on the product. It's a good time to now spend on the product. And then I believe in October, we launched for hosts. Earlier. We launched in like July. We launched for hosts, started onboarding hosts. We wanted to get to a set amount of properties and listings before we open it up for the industry. And then we were kind of overwhelmed with the response from the hosting side. And then in early October or end of October, we kind of opened it up to the industry to start accepting bookings. But to the question that was asked from a startup perspective is, I also think it's important to, if you have an idea, to validate the idea. I think its idea is always personal, and I think it's good to then start asking questions to the industry. I also believe that the industry should never give you the solution, but you should talk about the problem with the industry. I think as an innovator, it is our responsibility to get the solution for the problem that they communicate. And then from a starting perspective, I think it's different if you are an individual versus if you are a group of partners that is starting a company. But I mean, there has been great innovations in the tech world of how you can really build out a MVP model, as Mandy mentioned, in not much time. I think you can get to market really early. I think it's a trade-off versus how nice do you want the product to look versus how well do you want it to function. And I think that's a trade-off that every entrepreneur needs to make to decide, are we going to build quick? There's a saying to say, fail quick, fail and pivot quickly. And I think, as Mandy mentioned, I think that speaks to that exactly.
Fantastic answers. And I don't have another question, but I have one from myself as your moderator, if you don't mind. I want you to imagine yourself in 5 years. Take that spear, as they say, and throw it. Where do you see your company going? There's some amazing people in the audience. We have top facilitating producers. We have top independent producers, people who own their own IP. How are you going to be working with this kind of audience and grow your company? It's very nice to hear you're all post-revenue. You've managed to bootstrap yourself here. It's very inspirational. But now let's grow these companies and hopefully employ more people. I mean, you're already employing a lot of people to do the back end, the coding, etc. So let's just hear your future plans, if that's possible. And don't give us any secret stuff, but we're learning all these new words like minimum viable product and fail and pivot and all this great tech stuff as film industry. Please keep inspiring us. Mario, tell us your future.
Well, I've always said that South Africa is our proving grounds, but definitely TalentScan is going to be a global monster to deal with. You know, South African film industry is not the easiest film industry, but we're definitely the most innovative. So our whole thought was, if we can show people what we can do here before going overseas, not that overseas is going to be a breeze, but because of all the unions and stuff in place, and because there's already a standard for the industry in a lot of aspects, it'll be easier to replicate what we're doing in South Africa. So at the end of the day, we're looking at a master global centralized database where whether you work in LA or you work in SA or you work in Maldives, the system will handle the data the same way, as easily, as quickly, payroll, all that kind of stuff. And then obviously with that, not just to be in the talent and the payroll side, but with our app that we're developing, our idea is, you know, for the data to be useful in so many different places. Like, for instance, one little thing I can mention, because we had this on set before, a person drops on set, medic rushes over, has got no clue what's going on. A friend says, oh, I think he is, I don't know, diabetic and he didn't have his insulin. Meanwhile, the guy was stung by a bee in a place the medic couldn't easily see. Now, how cool would it be if the medic can whip out his phone, scan the guy's fingerprint or his ID, and get all his medical history instantly on his phone? Treat him with what needs to happen right there and then. The scenario that actually happened with us was an extra that they didn't want to allow the extra to the hospital because he didn't have any identification with him. So luckily the coordinator could pull the guy's ID off our system, print it out, give it to the hospital, and boom, there we go, you could be admitted. So we're looking at really all the kind of things where, you know, if you have the data already, how can it be utilized in various departments quickly and efficiently? And that's our goal internationally, worldwide, for the film industry.
I love ambition. Dean, tell us your future. Look into that crystal ball, please.
Yeah, so I mean, Our mission is to remove the need for physical location visits by creating a platform that enables users to view locations, engage in efficient location planning, and generate location leads, ideas, from their home. And I think, I mean, our future prospects for the platform would definitely be to, run it locally as hard as we can. As they were saying, the film industry here is very innovative and very influential and powerful. So, run it in this scenario for a while, and then take it internationally to the point where the platform is set up in such a way that anybody can request any sort of scan anywhere in the world and anywhere on the other end. So, you get the contributors and then you get the users. So the user can request any sort of scan, and then anyone else in any region of the world can do the scan, upload the raw data, and be processed on our platform.
Fantastic. I see we're conquering the world here. Wonderful. Mandy, over to you. What's your future hold?
If we're talking January, I would love to just get some people interested. No, I'm messing. Monica, I think growth, it's unlimited for these products, actually. I mean, we're not the only industry in the world, and certainly workflow isn't the only kind of production management platform that is out there. There is some competition in the international market for sure. Most of it is very much aimed at long form. So a lot of it is about continuity and, what they, sides. So it's also more aimed at feature films. But for now, we are looking at the short form market. So commercials, music videos, stills, branded content. Social media has gone nuts, as you know. The system does work for long form. So it's about trying to get into the market here with the short form, then go long form. I guess my want, and you said don't share any personal stuff, but it's hard not to, is because of the international service market, I'm hoping a lot of international clients will come here, will see the app, will work with it. I mean, I've had quite a few comms with, former clients, and, everyone's, environmentally friendly really is the thing still. It's not just that was last year's trend. It really is a thing. People are, and especially now with where we are with pandemics and stuff, they're tired of waste. They're tired of excess. It's about just narrowing down and simplifying and getting in there and efficiency and time management. So obviously going global is what we'd like to do. Our industry works in a very particular way here. So it's great that I've got all these features for timesheets. In other countries, there just is no overtime. You don't do it. You get to a time in the day and everyone packs up and goes home. So, the product will have to be adapted for different markets. I think locally, and Blanche mentioned it earlier, just talking about integration, is that for now, workflow is quite standalone, but I would love to be able to integrate with other platforms, vehicle rental platforms, equipment rentals. And I'm sure I can say I don't know, but I do know somebody who's busy developing a platform for crew and equipment. So it's about how would workflow then connect to that. So it's all, it's all integrated, because at the moment, you want to book a vehicle, so then you have to email or phone 10 different companies and see who has a vehicle and etc. So it's about trying to grow the product here for the industry here that makes it more interactive with other sectors of the industry. I guess the innovation, just to kind of change the way people think here and work and take it globally, and then also expand into other features. So at the moment, like accounting and budgeting is very separate. So you have your accounts department and you have your producers doing their budgets, and often none of that's integrated. So to find a way that's also one platform that connects to your timesheets and to your crew and to your, vehicle bookings. And so, just to make it far more integrated, actually, really. So that's where I'd like to see this all going. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I love that you brought up greening the industry, because all of these do save paper, make it safer, stop waste. We had some innovators in this space at last week's webinar during the Wavescape Conservation and Adventure Film Festival Masterclass. And I think that just shows that it is top of mind. Film, unfortunately, can be very, very wasteful. And, you know, if you stop people from flying in just to look at a property, Dean, you've already saved a lot of carbon, etc. So Mandy, that's a great point. And I think we're going to end with Blanche's future look, crystal ball look, and then we'll just do a goodbye from everyone. Thank you. Blanche?
Thanks, Monica. For us as Filmspace, we are quite passionate about accessibility for all within the industry and true inclusivity as well. So for us, we really have a vision for local, which in South Africa. And for us, it's about building out features that matches that vision. I think we are currently very much looking only at the local market to really improve the situation within our current industry and really be an innovator here and draw people from outside in. So I think for us, that's quite a big mission and a vision for us. As a platform, we are also scaling in the start of next year to another industry. We will be, we are in the finding a location industry. So as a platform, so we will also be scaling just within another industry, and then we'll start looking within to really build out features that is really surrounded or surrounds accessibility and inclusivity within our industry.
Fantastic. So as we say goodbye, before I leave you, I want to say thank you to all of you. I want to say thanks to Rihanna Beg and our technical team, to my colleagues Lisa and Minnie and Nadia Jagwan for helping put all of this together, and to all of you thought leaders. And this webinar will be on our website, so you can point people back to it. I know a lot of people registered just to make sure they got the follow-up messages that when it was available. And yeah, we have a number of webinars that speak to this incredibly wonderful industry. But what a way to end the year as our unit for these webinars. So we'll go one more round, say how people can get in touch with you. I know it's busy season, so thank you for these 2 hours. And have a great season, everyone. Maria, over to you.
Thanks for this opportunity, and I also want to thank you to Wesgro for putting all of this together. Without you guys, we won't get our word out, so thank you very much. And yeah, guys, if you want to hit me up, website talentscan.tv, all our information's on there. Send us a message and we'll come chat with you and show you in person what it's all about. Thank you very much. Have a great year further.
Dean, that's your cue.
Hi guys, yeah, thank you very much for putting this on. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak and present our idea here. And yeah, to contact me or, you know, to get involved with, get in touch with 3D Locations. Our platform is 3dlocations.co.za. I'm also contactable through darkwingaerials.com. Thank you very much.
Mandy.
Yeah, to Monica and Lisa and everyone else at Wesgro, thank you very much for arranging this. I think it's amazing. It was also just great to hear about other technology, for myself, to hear about everyone else's platforms and what they're doing. So thank you very much. If you want to get hold of me, workflow.tv. If you go to the website, if you want to register, just send me an email. You can register on the site. Otherwise, there are some explainers on the website if you want any more information, but contact details are there. And yeah, thanks for joining, and be safe, and all the best for the end of the year and next year. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, just from my side as well, Monica and the Wesgro team, I think you've been invaluable for us to get into the industry and really embracing innovation itself. If you want to contact us as Filmspace, reach out on filmspace.co.za. Contact us through there. We always love hearing from the community. If you have any features you would like to request or would like to see. I think we're building this platform with the community, and I just reach out, and then I think we can have a great 2021.
Powerful words, Blanche, as always. And congratulations to all of your innovations. And we look forward to hearing back from you after season, find out how it all went. And we're here to help you grow and enjoy your future together. And everyone else online, thank you very much for listening. And we'll see you in the new year. You can contact Wesgro at film@wesgro.co.za. Lisa and my details are also on the website. So thank you very much, and we'll see you later. Thank you. Have a great one. Bye.